at address does it look a little bit more forgiving?
A touch bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, just a touch bigger.
Really a higher pitch sounding golf club, like you can.
Yeah, it's definitely different, isn't it? Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we have a new iron review, Michael. The new PXG 0317T.
Yeah, this is it's clean looking.
Very, very clean. A little bit more in line with what obviously PXG are known for, with this kind of hollow body construction, new sort of S-core chamber and kind of internals. We're going to compare it to the 0317 CB that I was playing earlier in the year.
Old Faithfuls.
They're lovely.
They are nice. They are nice. But this is what they're known for, that little bit more forgiving iron. And I know we'll see. We'll put it to the test. It looks really, really clean.
It does. It does. So obviously, given the kind of hollow body nature of it, gives them a little bit more of an opportunity to place some weight and sort of do some things, Mikey, with the internals where they can hide some of the tech.
Yep.
Obviously, when you've got the back exposed like that, you know, the aesthetics are a thing.
Totally.
And obviously putting tungsten and certain things in areas where they want it, like there is in the toe and the tees and things like that, it's not quite as easy to do that.
Yeah, visually looking at it, I mean, I said to you earlier, on that CB, the width of the sole looks a little bit thicker, but it is smaller heel to toe.
Very, very compact.
They've narrowed this down, but I mean, to me, it looks like you can kind of strike it all over the place and get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, people were asking when the Gen 6 irons came out why there wasn't a T iron.
Yeah.
And I think the Player Series have branched off now. So you'll see XPs and Ps will be part of the 0311 range, but 0317 will be designed a little bit more for the kind of better players, lower handicappers,
definitely.
You know, better iron strikers, that type of thing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, what we get from these guys and how different they are from one another.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. Let's start with some wedges. We'll do some 7s and we'll do some 4s.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, Fraz, your old irons, 0317 CB, Project X LZ 60120.
Yeah.
We've got the 0317 Ts built up with Modus 120, which is, since these irons is kind of the new shaft that you've been using. So very, very similar makeup. Swing weights are pretty close, and I know loft and lies are pretty much bang on as well.
They're identical, they are, yeah. We kind of built them up actually ourselves this time. So yeah, we made sure we got those sort of specs on the lost and lies exactly where we wanted them. So yeah, I mean, I think the difference when we start to see differences, Mikey, will be largely down to the internals of the head and kind of what the properties are of the new 0317T. But I'm going to start with the CB first.
Yeah.
A bit toy, Mikey.
Yeah. Now, when you played these irons, was there anything that they were lacking that if you could design your own iron or add something to these, what would you change?
Yeah, they were a little bit susceptible to flyers. I think that was the biggest thing I saw with them. Some of the things that, you know, we spoke to the Titleist team and some of the consistencies that were built into, you know, those ones that I currently play, that was pretty much the reason for changing, in all honesty. I was pretty happy with most of what I saw from the PXGs, but just the consistency of spin rates and that standard deviation was a lot closer, a lot tighter.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, and having talked to PXG a little bit, they were pretty keen to see how this test would go because they feel like they've addressed a lot of that in the new design. A better strike. That one felt nice.
Yeah.
More certainly in the middle of the club.
Really a higher pitch sounding golf club, like you can.
Yeah, it's definitely different, isn't it?
hear the hollow body of it versus the CB.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
At address, does it look a little bit more forgiving?
A touch bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, just a touch bigger.
A little low.
Yep.
Got away with it.
I'm trying to kind of see, Mikey, if they seem a little bit bigger. Maybe a fraction,
Yeah.
but it's very, very minimal, if anything.
Yeah, it's still a player's iron, the new tee. I think what we talked about head shape earlier on. Maybe it might be the difference, but again, it's not massive.
I think the proportion actually of the 0317T might actually be a little better.
Okay.
When you sometimes see an iron, and when I first saw 0317 CB, I thought very short toe to heel.
Yeah, compact, yeah.
Very compact, and I definitely don't look at that and say that. I think that's more in equal proportion to things like the top line sole, the offset. So yeah, I think that suits its shape a little bit more.
Okay.
I always thought these irons packed a good old punch.
Yeah.
I always thought they were quite sneaky long.
Does that sneaky long come from that little bit of flyer, or just you found these easier to hit right out of the gates?
It's
with
got to
the
be,
distance?
yes. I mean, it's not the loft, so, and there's nothing in the head or the tech other than the mass being obviously very directly behind the strike. And then if you catch one as centered as that last one was, you obviously get a lot out of it. But I don't know, I just always thought these were really solid when you struck them well.
Swing.
Yeah, that one felt good.
Strike is in a nice little spot. Really good. Simple.
Just stick that in 7-irons all, I think.
Yeah, no kidding. They sound great. Strike for both irons is really, really pure. Oh, that's a 4-iron. Still gaming would say, that's hammered.
Pretty good numbers off the form in high, right? 116.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of spin. It's good. Old Faithfuls they're in the bag for a reason. I really did like these.
How many times are these going to get reshafted? And oh man.
Well, these were good. Really, really solid iron. Saved that one. I felt a wee bit with the hands, but
Just putting on a clinic today.
I mean, didn't quite catch that one quite as good. Not sure where it came out. Slightly toey.
Oh yeah. You'll take it.
Yeah, I would. I definitely
115
would.
in the air. Okay.
So I think of the two irons, Mikey, I think we would have probably expected, with the way that the kind of new T iron is designed, we would have expected that to be the high-performing, long-iron, hollow body, a lot more sort of forgiveness built in with the tungsten that they've got in the toe, the S-core, etc. And maybe, let's be fair, right? My iron striking when it's on is the best part of my game by far.
Yep.
And today's a decent day for the iron striking. So I sometimes think that when we're giving messaging to obviously the audience, we have to be careful of what we're saying, and that was just well hit 4 irons. That's really all that was.
Yeah.
That was as good as I can hit, 4 irons, and I think that's why they were flying good. I still would probably say, and unless we see something in the testing that says otherwise, this probably is going to be slightly more forgiving.
Right.
I would still think.
Yeah, just that fraction. I mean, again, we're saying it's bigger.
Yeah.
By looks.
But it's still, no one else is going to say that though. Unless you've played 0317 CB, you're not going to pick up this and say, oh, those are big. You're just not.
Yeah.
If the 0317 CB had never came around and this was the one they released, I would have went, wow, really good looking.
Interesting.
And I've got some Gen 5 0311 Ts. And these are definitely a bit bigger than that. I would have welcomed a slightly bigger iron than that. So
now that compared to your T150, similar shape or?
Yeah, that's why I say for people not to think. I actually think these are smaller.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think these are smaller and they just feel a bit more sort of compact. I love the shape of these.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll be honest. I think the shape of these it's about bang on.
Right. Okay.
I didn't love the wedge. I'll be honest about that shape wise.
We talked about that earlier. I mean.
Yeah. It's a bit big for me.
We're both picky on a wedge, but that, it was a bit chunky, and obviously being, fractionally a little bit flatter when you bent them, it looked different, very, very different. Whereas, something like, I think your CB wedge is quite nice.
Nice,
in there.
I like that CB wedge, yeah.
Definitely rounded out. The T looks a little sharp in my opinion. Sits very flush to the ground, but.
Yeah. You're right though. We're probably more picky than most on a wedge shape. All right, let's see what the new guys got. It was okay. It felt a little behind the blade, but yeah.
That sounded good.
Yeah, might be the best one yet.
Yeah. The green's got to be pushed back. Okay, Fries, the last one, good strike, but it went further than what we've seen. Is that what you're looking for in a 4-iron, or a bit jumpy?
I think as long as it's in balance with everything else, a yardage progression. So if we look at what 7 was going with the 0317T, 180, right? So if we see 6-iron go 192, 5-iron go 204, this guy going 211 in the air, it's about right. So that's all I would look for, is just make sure everything in proportion. It's got more horsepower than the CB.
Yeah.
Like that was, that kind of had a little bit more in the locker, didn't it, for ball speed?
Yeah, for me it's nice it's not coming out super low or anything
like
that.
No, not at all.
Hit this into any green.
Easy. And to be honest, I'm probably hitting those in with a fraction more right to left shape than maybe I would even want. So as I straighten that out a little bit, it'll go a fraction higher and spin a little more. Okay. But no, I think these are controlling what I would want from it really, really nicely. I tried to take a little bit of that curve out it.
Right, okay.
Move the hand path a little bit more left.
A little cuttier?
Yeah, just to feel a little bit more of that, and kick the spin up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's right in a nice spot where you can have kind of what you want.
Yeah, that peak height's up a bit.
Yeah. Felt good.
Fraction tuggy?
I mean, just a tiny fraction, yeah.
Strike was good.
Strike felt really good. I think the biggest thing is just because it flew the green, it made it look like it went more left.
Yeah.
I don't think it was bad at all. All right, Michael, initial thoughts before we dive into the facts?
I mean, for a head that's not massively larger than the CB, it definitely has, to me, that tendency to go a little bit further, a little bit quicker, which is nice, especially in a tour head. Maybe people doing combo sets, 0311P, 0317T, or maybe T's in the long iron of a CB. Definitely an iron that you can combo with.
Just kind of trying to skim through the numbers if I can, just as we go along. And dynamic loft was similar until I got to sort of here.
Yeah.
I delivered less loft, interestingly enough, with the T. Actually, the CB gave me more bang from a buck, which is interesting. So, but delivery-wise was quite
same,
quite similar across the board. And if we go over to ball data, 133 carry, similar spin, standard deviation. T was a little better.
Yeah.
No issues there. Over into 7, pretty good on ball speed, both of them. Pretty similar launch. A little bit less. Did we get that going a touch? No, held its line, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and then obviously a little bit less spin. Both standard deviations are unbelievable with the 4-iron, to be honest.
Yeah, launch and ball speed are very, very close as well. With T being a little bit quicker.
So, I would say having that little bit of help in the 4-iron was really quite good, because if we're going from 7 to 4, 201, 177 to 201, there's not 3 clubs worth of need in there, there's 2.
Yeah.
177, call it 190 in the 6-iron. Yeah, and then you're going to be 5-iron at 201. So that would actually be, and for how well I hit that, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
This was definitely more what we want, a little bit more of that gapping story, guys, where we want the set to flow, right? We don't want there to be points in which we get stuck from a yardage perspective. And really, for someone that swings kind of at the speed I do, which is probably not a million miles off tour standard or tour speed, that's a big thing. Just look at that discrepancy, though. And
Yeah.
I didn't notice that at the time.
Me neither.
Big difference in
It's quick.
speed difference, because they're quite similar.
Everything's
and then,
tight, and then you get to that, and it's...
So that makes sense why the standard deviation, although it's down a little bit on the efficiency, it's went quite a bit further.
And dynamic loft's lower a little bit too.
Interesting. Guys, these tests always throw something up, and we've done this in the past with shafts. I think recently in the Mizuno driver video, when you start to see, shafts that we time well and shafts that we don't, and maybe something in that LZ that I didn't time it quite as well. There's some weight in the 4-iron. There's about 5 grams of weight difference between the LZ iron and the Modus iron.
Yeah.
So maybe utilising that lighter weight a little bit more was to the advantage.
Good build on the tees.
Very good build.
I give myself some credit.
Industry leading.
Thank you.
Best in class.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I like it. It's good iron.
It's impressive, isn't it?
I could see it being more popular in our demo matrix than the CB.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's more approachable for people to look at it. Maybe some people that shouldn't be in something like a T, but now can get away with it. It's a good, I like it. It's nice.
For sure. I think the player maybe who's looking at an iron like a T200, a P770, an Apex Pro, a I230, right? We're in that category, probably ZX7 Mark II. This is where we're at here. Obviously, hollow body, they'll present some other opportunities, as we said, from a design standpoint, guys. But in terms of performance, I think these are going to hang with all of those and really hold their own. And good job.
Yeah.
Really good job.
No, definitely.
That was fun. You can always tell, guys, from our body language, we're enjoying a test. And when a test is a little bit of a struggle,
Nah.
I think you can. I watch it back and I kind of go, oh, I was struggling there. But no, I really actually enjoyed this test. I thoroughly enjoyed, especially the 7 and the 4. I think that's where I kind of really enjoyed that. As I like the old ones, felt like I struck those pretty good. But when it comes down to the details, making the carries, having the right gapping, for me, it was clear that the 0317T would be the winner. And maybe for some people, it's a combo set.
Definitely. Very easy to blink. It's not a ton of offset on those T's either.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Something to think of. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Leave your comments below on your thoughts. What are your thoughts on PXG? Where are they in your head right now in terms of their brand and with the offerings that they've got kind of coming out right now? Obviously, we know how they hit the market. It was, you know, shock and awe. It was the price tag. It was the quality. It was the big advertising. Seems like they've subtly brought that kind of down a notch. And I really like where they're at right now.
Yeah.
I think they're allowing the product to speak for itself now.
Totally.
Which I think is obviously the most important thing. So yeah, let us know what you guys think. Where's PXG in your minds? Love or hate? Is it somewhere in the middle? What do you guys think? We'd love to know. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.